Hello everyone. Let me start with a quick question. Have you ever experienced unauthorized charges or suspected card fraud? If so, you're not alone. Studies show that 20 to 30% of consumers have encountered some form of credit card fraud. And it's not just about money loss. It's about the stress, inconvenience, and disruption that fraud causes every single day. Traditional security measures often miss these small, frequent attacks, which quietly adds up to billions in losses. That's why I have developed the Real Mck MFA System, a real-time, user-driven approach to stopping fraud before it happens. Today, I'll walk you through the problem, the system I built to solve it, and how it can change the way we secure payments. This project is called Enhancing Debit and Credit Card Security with Multi-Factor Authentication, powered by what I call the Real Mck MFA System. It's built to protect transactions by enforcing MFA right at the moment of payment before any money leaves your account. My name is Ricardo Mitchell, and in this presentation, I'll walk you through the problem I set out to solve and the system I designed to do just that. Here's a quick overview of what we'll cover today. I'll begin by outlining the cybersecurity problem and the growing threat of card fraud payment. Then I'll walk you through our solution, the Real Mck MFA System, and show you a demo of the full process from user registration to secure transaction approval. After that, I'll share you our evaluation results, highlight key insights from user feedback, and discuss some current limitations. And finally, we will wrap up with the next steps and plan enhancements for the system. Fraud is a daily reality, and I have experienced it myself. It's not just about losing money, it's the stress, the account freezes, the hassle of replacing cards, and waiting for disputes to be resolved. Criminals are smart. They often target small transactions under $100 that slip under the radar. Fraud has increased by 27%, and these small attacks now add up to billions in losses each year. That's why prevention in real time isn't just helpful, it's essential. The numbers are staggering. In 2022 alone, over $43 billion was lost to identity theft in the US. Globally, card not present fraud, where the card isn't physically used, accounts for 70% of all fraud, totaling nearly $20 billion in 2020. And despite all the tools available, only 34% of users feel secure when paying online. This isn't just a financial issue, it's a trust issue. Card not present fraud isn't just a growing concern, it's a dominant threat today. As more purchases shift online, criminals have owned their methods, bypassing traditional defenses with ease. By 2030, global fraud and chargeback losses are expected to exceed $229 billion. That's a massive red flag, and it makes real-time transaction level security more essential than ever. Let's take a closer look at how these attacks actually happen. Criminals use a variety of techniques, including card skimming at ATMs or point-of-sale machines, cloning data from magnetic strips, or even chip-enabled cards, using stolen card details to make unauthorized purchases online, but perhaps the most damaging of all is card not present, where they never need to see or touch your card to steal from you. It's fast, silent, and increasingly common. Fraud isn't just about stealing card numbers anymore. Today, attackers are using identity-based tactics to bypass traditional security entirely. We're seeing phishing and vishing scams, synthetic identities that blend fake and real information, account takeovers using stolen credentials. They don't need your card, they just need your trust. This evolution in fraud tactics is exactly why we need dynamic, real-time security at the point of transaction. So why aren't existing systems enough? Many banks still rely on static methods like CVVs and PINs, which are easily compromised. Fraud detection is often reactive, meaning the damage is already done by the time it's caught. Even advanced tools like Visa 3D secure have been bypassed by determined attackers. At the end of the day, only a small fraction of fraudulent transactions are ever flagged, leaving most users exposed. Our solution, the Real Mck MFA System, enforces MFA in real time right at the moment of transaction. Before any payment is approved, users must verify it using a one-time passcode. The system is adaptive and user controlled. You can set thresholds, define trusted locations, or even lock your card if needed. It's simple, scalable, and designed to stop fraud before it happens, no matter where or when you're transacting. Now I'll show you exactly how the system works. You'll see how users register, set up MFA, and verify transaction using one-time passcodes. In addition to basic authentication, the demo will highlight advanced features like OTP thresholds, geofencing, backup code usage, card lock and unlock options, and customizable notification. This simulation represents a real-world environment, demonstrating how layered security can protect every transaction before fraud can occur. We begin by visiting our site at realmckmfa.com, where a new user fills out the registration form using their valid email address. Once submitted, the system automatically sends a verification link to that email. When the user clicks the link, their email is verified, ensuring that only genuine verified users gain access to our platform. After email verification, the user is prompted to enroll in multi-factor authentication. Here they scan a QR code using an authenticator app like Google Authenticator, which links their device to their account. This enables real-time, one-time password verification for all transactions, adding an extra layer of security. As an additional safeguard, the system offers backup codes. The user can generate 5 one-time use codes automatically or choose to set their own codes. These backup codes are crucial in case the user loses access to their MFA app, and they should be stored offline for safety. Next, we register a test or debit or credit card. The user selects a card, enters the test details, and the system then links it to a simulated bank account via the Plaid API. For debit cards, a PIN may also be required to make this process as realistic as possible. After registering, users now have the option to set an OTP threshold. For example, if the transaction amount is below $50, MFA might not be required. Transaction above that will trigger an OTP verification prompt. Additionally, users can add trusted geolocations such as their home or office, which allows low-risk transaction to be bypassed, adding an additional verification while still flagging unusual activity. Now let's dive into how transactions are processed with our system. When a transaction is initiated through Stripe, we use Stripe's API in manual entry mode. This means that instead of automatically capturing the payment processor captures the transaction at the terminal and then contacts the Real Mck MFA system. At that point, our system checks the card status, whether it's locked or unlocked, and evaluate both the OTP threshold and the user's geolocation data. Based on these factors, it determines whether MFA verification is needed. For our first transaction above the OTP threshold, if verification is required, then the user is prompted to enter a one-time passcode. Once the correct OTP is entered, the transaction continues. In our next scenario, for a transaction below the threshold, the payment is processed instantly without requiring additional verification. In high-risk scenarios, if the user enters an incorrect OTP repeatedly, For example, 3 times, the system will reject the payment and lock the user's card. The transaction remains in a cancel state and a detailed entry is logged in the transaction history, indicating that the card was locked due to multiple failed OTP attempts. After verification is successful, or if MFA is bypassed for lower amounts, the Stripe finalizes the transaction using its standard payment flow to the financial institution. This layered approach ensures that every transaction is thoroughly verified before funds are captured, reinforcing the security of the system. Every transaction, successful, failed, or locked, is logged into the user's transaction history. This transparency allows users to review their activity and helps in early detection of suspicious behavior. On the admin side, the system provides tools to monitor, flag transactions, review user activities, and manage card or account statuses. Admins can investigate suspicious behavior and take action if an account needs to be locked or reset, adding an extra layer of security and oversight. To wrap up, the Real Mck MFA system enforces security at the transaction level. It adapts to user preferences with flexible features like MFA enrollment, backup codes, OTP threshold, and geofencing. This system is designed to be user-focused, secure, and ready for real-world use. Thank you for watching this demo, and I hope it's giving you a clear view of how our platform keeps every transaction safe. After testing the system, we surveyed potential users, and the results were incredibly encouraging. 94.8% expressed interest in a universal MFA solution. 87.9% said they'd likely adopt it if available today. 67% said they'd feel safer using MFA on every transaction. And 50% are comfortable requiring MFA for purchases above a set threshold. These numbers show that users are not only open to the idea, they are ready for smarter, real-time payment security. Of course, no system is perfect. Here are a few key challenges we're addressing. Some users may feel frustrated if prompted too often for MFA, which could create friction. The system relies on mobile access, so a lost phone or poor signal can cause delays. Widespread adoption depends on both users' willingness and integration with existing banks and payment systems. These limitations help guide our roadmap and are already informing the next stage of improvements. Looking ahead, we plan to expand our MFA options with features like push notifications, biometric verification, and hardware tokens. We also aim to offer customizable prompts based on merchant type, time of day, or transaction patterns to make security smarter and more user-friendly. User education will be a key focus, helping people understand the value of these added layers. Ultimately, our goal is to integrate the system with real-world banking and a point-of-sale platform, leading to broader testing and full deployment as a robust app-based solution. To wrap up, card fraud is rising fast, and the tools we rely on today just aren't keeping up. The Real Mck MFA system stops fraud in its tracks by making user an active part of the security process, right at the point of the transaction. It's adaptive, user-focused, and works in real time to protect every purchase. With strong user support and a scalable design, this system can help close one of the biggest gaps in modern financial security without adding friction or complexity to the user experience. Thank you for watching and for caring about securing the future of payments. Have a good evening.